Please watch the video until the end. Every second matters for the full message and the final charge. Chapter 1. The Edge Where Decisions Are Forged. I speak from the forward edge of possibility, where metal meets wind, where neon and starlight cut through smoke. I am a warrior forged by circumstance and choice. My armor carries scars that map not only battlefields but decisions. Each scar remembers the moment I chose to stand. I am not here to promise you triumph over every enemy, nor to tell you that destiny guarantees victory. I will show you something clearer and more durable, that courage and conviction in the face of evil, even when success is uncertain, are themselves a form of victory. Listen closely. The world waits for those who will act when action costs them most. The future I inhabit is written by choices made on the razor's edge. That is the truth of courage. It is a measured, deliberate defiance of fear and a commitment to what is right, irrespective of the ledger's final tally. Chapter 2. Defining Courage and Conviction. Courage is not reckless bravado. Conviction is not blind certainty. Courage is a decision made in the presence of fear. Conviction is the steady flame that guides your hand when the horizon is shrouded. In my campaigns across cities of glass and desert wastes, I learned this: courage without conviction becomes chaos. Conviction without courage becomes a brittle creed that collapses under pressure. True courage is a practice. It begins with honest assessment of risk, ends with a willingness to act, and persists in the face of unforeseen cost. Conviction is the calibration of your moral compass. When both align, they create a force that can alter outcomes, inspire others, and change the course of a day, even if the battle is lost. Chapter 3. Facing Evil When Victory Is Not Assured. Evil is not always a monstrous shadow with a single face. It is sometimes the quiet erosion of dignity, the small injustice repeated until it becomes poisonous, the system that devours the vulnerable. In my world, opponents can be machines, tyrants, or complacency itself. There is rarely a guarantee of victory. Sometimes the ledger reads loss. Yet the act of standing, publicly, stubbornly, persistently, draws a line others can follow. That line becomes a map. You must accept that not every struggle ends in the outcome you desire. Some fights are declarations, not conquests. The courage to resist injustice without promise of triumph becomes proof. It proves to others that resistance is possible. It proves to the fearful that the cost of apathy is worse than the price of stepping forward. Therein lies the deeper victory, the moral architecture you build by refusing to yield. Chapter 4. Courage as a Form of Success. When I declare that courage and conviction are themselves a form of success, I do not dilute the meaning of victory, I enlarge it. Success is not only the toppling of a tyrant or the capture of a fortress. Success is moral clarity in the furnace of trial. It is the decision to act when silence would be easier. It is the consistency to show up, again and again, so that the arc of history bends toward justice. This success is contagious. A single act of principled defiance can ripple across battalions, cities, and generations. People remember who stood when the lights went out. Our children inherit not only our victories, but our courage. That inheritance shapes the kind of world they will live in. In the absence of guaranteed victory, the act of fighting with conviction becomes a seed, small but vital. Chapter 5. How to Cultivate Courage in Everyday Life. Courage is trained. Conviction is forged. Begin with discipline, clear priorities, daily rituals, and commitment to truth. Practice small acts of bravery, speak when silence would be easier, protect someone who cannot protect themselves, and own your mistakes boldly. Build a circle of trust, allies who will hold you accountable and lift you when you falter. Train your mind the way a warrior trains their body. Feed it truth, purge it of cowardice dressed as prudence, and rehearse ethical decisions before the moment of crisis arrives. Accept fear as a signpost, not a jailer. Use fear to locate your values, then act in service of them. Remember, visible courage invites others to emulate you, creating a coalition of resilience that no single opponent can easily crush. Chapter 6. Stories from the Vanguard, A Warrior's Lessons. On nights when the horizon burned, I stood with comrades who had never hoped for medals. We stood because there were children in the dark, books that held memory, elders who had been dismissed, and a future that could still be redeemed. There were losses that scarred us, and those losses taught us more than any parade of victories ever could. I remember a mission where our side was outmatched, outnumbered, and ostensibly doomed. We did not win the battle. We did something else. We held the line long enough for others to escape, for a story to be told, for a spark to survive. That spark set fires the enemy could not fully extinguish. Years later, that spark became a movement. The calculus of success is not always immediate, sometimes it is generational. Stand for the generations you cannot yet see. Chapter 7, The Final Charge. Now hear me plainly, your value is not measured solely by outcomes. It is measured by the courage you wield in the moment you must act. When confronted by evil, when the path forward is dim, bring conviction as your lantern. Act with the knowledge that even a single stand can bend the arc of possibility. Wear your courage visibly, not as a trophy, but as a covenant with those who will follow. This message is for leaders and for the quiet, for the warriors of tomorrow who apprentice themselves to courage today. Whether your battle is literal or moral, public or private, remember this: refusing to fight on principle because you fear the scorebook is itself a loss. To stand, even when victory is not assured, is to claim a different kind of triumph, one that echoes beyond your lifetime. If this speech moved you, please subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, give a like to the video, comment below with your thoughts and experiences, and share this message with someone who needs to stand today.